All right. Welcome, everybody, to the BamaInsider.com live stream on YouTube. My name is Kyle Henderson of BamaInsider.com. Thank you for joining us today. Got a good show lined up for you guys. Wanted to talk 10 things that we learned from Alabama's first scrimmage of fall camp. Now, you can find all your fall camp coverage on BamaInsider.com. You can also sign up right now for an annual subscription to BamaInsider.com and get $99 in team gear. I'll tell you more about that later on. But if you want the full details, see the link in the description and also go to BamaInsider.com. Get your Bama gear for the upcoming game against Louisville. Now, as you know, Alabama held their first scrimmage yesterday. There's a lot of rumors and notes and everything flying around. We were at Bryant-Denny yesterday, and, Nick Saban still has not named his quarterback. Now, I'm not going to make this whole show about the quarterbacks. This show will be about 10 things that we did learn from the scrimmage. And we will start off with the quarterbacks. And Nick Saban has not named a quarterback. And this is what Nick Saban had to say on the quarterback situation yesterday. Here are Nick Saban's clips and comments from Saturday, August 11th.
We saw the freshman linebacker Kao out there for the first time from Washington.
Sorry, that was the Kao clip. Let me get this lined up for you guys. Here we go.
Guys, I know you're going to ask me about the quarterbacks and all that, but look, we're going to evaluate the quarterback situation. We're going to keep looking at the guys. What somebody did today or didn't do today is not going to win or lose them the job. It's going to be the cumulative effect and the consistency that they practice with and play with over time. And that's in fairness to both players who are really good competitors and really working hard and really doing a good job. So we don't have much more to say than that about that situation.
Saban keeping it simple, right? I mean, still saying that, no quarterback has been determined. However, from the looks of it, it looks like Tua really balled out yesterday during Alabama's first scrimmage. And thanks for joining us on the BamaInsider.com live stream. My name is Kyle Henderson. Right now, great time to sign up for an annual subscription, $99 in team gear. When you sign up, use the promo code GETGEAR99. Tua, 4 touchdowns reportedly thrown at the scrimmage yesterday. One to Kedrick James, who I thought has looked wonderful all fall camp. Another big one to Jerry Jeudy. You guys saw that on the highlights that Alabama football provided. Jerry Jeudy is going to be something special. We'll talk about him later on in the program. I just cannot wait to see Jerry Jeudy shine this year in his sophomore season. I really think he's the next big-time guy for Alabama at the receiver position. But, Tua throwing 4 touchdowns yesterday. I mean, it seems like when we're at practice, he's just a little bit faster, a little bit crisper than the other quarterbacks, and he continues to just really shine. And him throwing 4 touchdown passes, I guess, is a little bit it's not surprising, but, man, talk about a fast start. Jalen, on the other hand, 3 interceptions reportedly. And, those two continue to battle. But I think as we continue to move forward, it looks like it's Tua's job to lose. And, in fact, we got our first caller coming in. You guys can always call into the show. We'll take this call right now. Here we go. Hey, what's going on? It's Kyle Henderson. Thanks for calling. Who do we got?
Our first caller coming in. You guys can always call into the show.
Give me 1 second. Not sure what's happening right now. We'll try to get that call back on the show here in a second. But anyways, as we were talking about the quarterback situation at Alabama and Tua really balling out. I'm sorry I missed your call. You can call into the show anytime, 205-686-3604. Want to hear from you regarding Alabama's first fall scrimmage, which was held on Saturday. My bad missing that call, 205-686-3604. There was some interesting posts yesterday on social media, and I think one that really caught everyone's attention was Will Lowery, who is a former defensive back for Alabama. And this is what he said yesterday on Twitter. Disclaimer, this is the first scrimmage of camp and the only practice I've seen. But from what I've watched today, I'll be shocked if Tua isn't day one starter, and it isn't close. Don't expect an announcement prior to opening kickoff, though. Big comments. I mean, he's played the game. He's played at Alabama. Has some credibility, being that he was a defensive back, so he can have an eye for the quarterbacks. And him coming out publicly and saying that caught everybody's attention, including mine. So I wanted to point that out, and just another, feather in Tua's cap, because Tua's just on fire, has a lot of momentum going into this first game against Louisville. And I think those comments echoed what a lot of people saw from the first scrimmage of Alabama football, which was held on August 11th. My name is Kyle Henderson of BamaInsider.com. Thanks for joining us on the program. I want to talk to you about the injury report. Now, a lot of people wanted to, hear about the injury report and what Nick Saban had to say regarding some players that were injured, including Daniel Wright, who went down, who could potentially be done for the season. Now, that's not confirmed. That's just kind of floating out there. Here's Saban talking about the injury report. I lined that up for you guys. And this was from yesterday. This was from Saban's presser.
Jamey Mosley was out of the scrimmage today because of a separated shoulder. I don't think this is a long-term injury, something that he'll probably work back into, maybe out for several more days, but certainly we're hoping that he'll be back for the first game. Who else was out today? Wright also has a shoulder issue that is being evaluated, has been evaluated, and I don't think we've come to a conclusion on what the best course of action is. Dr. Kane and the family are sort of working through that right now. So we're hopeful that this is something that can be managed and maybe he can play this season, but that kind of remains to be seen.
All right, those were Nick Saban's comments regarding the injury report. Now, remember, Alabama did lose outside linebacker Terrell Lewis to an ACL at the beginning of the summer. And from what we've heard from a couple different guys, they've all said don't be surprised if he comes back sooner than later. So let's not discount him from being out the entire season. My name is Kyle Henderson of BamaInsider.com. You can call into the show anytime. 205-686-3604. Want to hear from you regarding Alabama football and your thoughts from what you heard, what you potentially saw at the scrimmage yesterday that Alabama held at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Moving on with the program, we're doing 10 things that we learned from the scrimmage. If you want to watch any of the first few things that we talked about, including the quarterback situation, just rewind this program, or you can rewatch this, of course, on BamaInsider.com. Got another caller coming in. Let's try to take this. All right, here we go. Hey, what's going on? It's Kyle Henderson.
Hey, how you doing, Kyle? This is DJ from the chat.
Hey, what's up, DJ? I appreciate you following. I know you're always on our chat. What you got for us today?
Not much. I just wanted to comment on the quarterback situation.
Yeah, go ahead.
Say,
what do you think?
I think I kind of expected Tua to do well. I just didn't expect Jalen to kind of I don't know. I feel like he mentally shook. He just hadn't been performing well all the way back to A-Day. With all the talking stuff.
Yeah, I think so. I think you bring up a good point. A lot of surrounding Jalen is. It seems like this is really getting to him upstairs in a sense, and I don't while everybody's talking Tua right now, Jalen, he still has a shot to win this team, but right now, I mean, it seems like Tua's on fire. Let me ask you about this. What do you think about some of the small highlights that we've seen from some of these receivers coming back for Alabama? I mean, that clip of Jeudy was just straight nasty, right?
Oh, man, it looked crazy. It looked like he was playing against Patrick Surtain, just giving him that work.
Yo, he put PS2 on skates, didn't he?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, well, thanks for calling.
So I think the wide receiver core this year could possibly be one of the best wide receiver cores in Alabama history. And I think the wide receiver cores the past 2 years have been a lot better than people think, but I don't think Jalen could get them the ball. He just got so caught up with Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, you got Henry Ruggs, Deionte Smith, Jerry Jeudy, Terrell Shavers. You got some tight ends that are can really stretch the field. Irv Smith. I really like Kedrick James. Hell Henchage is going to do his thing. So I think you bring up some good points. Thanks for calling in. Call in anytime. I appreciate it, DJ.
Okay, thank you. Take care.
See ya. All right, just like that. 205-686-3604. We're talking 10 things that we learned from Alabama's scrimmage. Next up, we're going to talk about the Alabama secondary. Now, Deionte Thompson, who we spoke with earlier this week, my goodness. I mean, recent graduate from Alabama, great ability on the field. I mean, hearing him speak, it was just it was great to really get to hear some of his thoughts, because I think he's due for a really big season. We got a little taste of what he can do in the Natty against Georgia. Xavier McKinney reportedly looked really good yesterday. Here's Saban on the secondary. Play that clip for you guys. Let's see.
Weekend at camp, how the defensive backs as a whole, how are they looking?
I think we've made some progress. I think there's, Savion has made improvement. Trayvon Diggs has made improvement. Xavier McKinney has done a really, really good job. He really started to come into his own at the end of last year, just never had much opportunity to play. Deionte had to play the last couple games in the playoffs and the championship game after Jeudy got hurt, so I think that experience has helped his confidence. But really the depth past Shaheem then is, really all freshmen. I mean, pretty much all freshmen. Jared Maiden has made significant improvement at safety, so we're making progress, and I'm not disappointed on the work ethic or how these guys are going about it. They're conscientious, but I think it's going to be critical that the freshman players that we have on our team develop into guys that can play in the secondary and on special teams, or it's going to create a real depth issue for us.
All right, that was Nick Saban talking about the defensive secondary. Hey, if you're going to call in again right now. I'll leave the lines open for a little bit. 205-686-3604. We're talking 10 things that we learned from Alabama secondary. Let me tell you about a promo we got. I know you guys love the free stuff on YouTube, but we got to keep the lights on, right? So right now, go to BamaInsider.com. You can sign up while supplies last. $99 gift certificate to the Rivals team store. You can get from the Rivals team store your Bama gear. You can get new jerseys, $99, and you're also going to get an annual subscription to the premium information that we post on BamaInsider.com. Talk of Champions message board, recruiting with Andrew Bone. You can get it all at BamaInsider.com. So right now, get Gear 99 is the promo at BamaInsider.com. See the link in description. Call in right now, 205-686-3604. I know we just got a call from Florida. We got a call from Louisiana a little while ago. The other day, we got a call from Hawaii, and it was great to hear from the other side of the globe, their take on Tua, and they seen Tua growing up. So I love the call-in part of the show. Moving right along on the show, the defensive line. You see that photo of Phidarian Mathis, Alabama's redshirt freshman who was chasing down Tua yesterday? 6'4", 310. I'm really eager to see him play because, as Nick Saban's mentioned many times, the big boys, they need depth. They need these guys to rise up quickly. Phidarian Mathis is a guy who I think is due for a big year this year. But Nick Saban commented yesterday on Quinnen Williams. And Quinnen Williams obviously going to have some big shoes to fill, taking over for Daron Payne, who did so much here at Alabama, now playing for the Redskins or the Rollskins, however you like to say it. Here's Nick Saban talking about Quinnen Williams, a player that I think you're going to hear more from as we go forward. I know on the outside of the defensive end position, you have Raekwon Davis, you have Isaiah Buggs, who have each looked amazing in fall camp. But Quinnen Williams is a guy who is going to fill in at the defensive tackle position, going to start this year for Alabama, has big shoes to fill. Here's Nick Saban talking about Quinnen Williams.
Quinnen Williams so far in camp, and what kind of a role is he competing for?
Quinnen Williams?
Yes.
He's really played well. I think he's one of the guys that I'm really proud of and probably exemplifies all the things that I've just been talking about. If you looked at him as a young player, how he's developed and what he's grown into, improving himself physically, having a lot of maturity, really plays with a lot of effort, really smart player, and I think is one of our most productive guys up front right now.
Back here on the left.
All right, that was Nick Saban yesterday talking about Quinnen Williams. Call into the show anytime, 686-3604. Kyle Henderson at BamaInsider.com, talking 10 things that we learned from Alabama's first scrimmage, which is held on Saturday, August 11th. You can get the complete breakdown on BamaInsider.com right now. Great promo running as I continue to talk about. See the link in the description. Moving along, I know someone's asked about the kicking game. Now, this is what we heard regarding the kicking game, at least reportedly. Austin Jones, who is a grad transfer, hit 2 big field goals for Alabama. He's battling with Joseph Bulovas, who we heard missed 2 field goals. Now, that's just reportedly, and that's kind of what we have regarding the kicking game. We don't see much of the kicking game at practice. Now, another special teams area to watch is at the punter position, because Skylar DeLong takes over for J.K. Scott. J.K. Scott now doing big things with the Green Bay Packers, and Skylar DeLong will be a true freshman taking over that role, and talk about some big shoes to fill. So we'll report more on what we hear from Skylar DeLong moving forward, who's a true freshman who will start at Alabama at the punting position. Jaylen Waddle, who is a Rivals.com 5-star, reportedly was returning punts yesterday for Alabama, and that has to be very exciting news for Alabama football fans. If you've seen some of his clips, you can go on our channel and type in Jaylen Waddle, like first look at him that we have posted. The acceleration and the elusiveness that this young man has as a freshman is phenomenal, and I think he's going to be playing this season in some sort of role. They got to get the football to him, because he has that ability to sneak by defenders, make plays up the field. He's a touchdown type threat. I know we've talked about the 3 the 3 sophomore receivers returning for Alabama, but this young man has a lot of ability. He can put guys on skates like we saw Jerry Jeudy did yesterday to Patrick Surtain. Jaylen Waddle is going to be a guy that you really want to know. I know we played college fantasy football this year. It's the first time, and someone scooped up Jaylen Waddle, which I think was a great get yesterday. My name is Kyle Henderson of BamaInsider.com, taking a quick look at what we got going on in the chat. 205-686-3604 if you want to call into the show. DJ, which freshman do you think will have the biggest impact? Like I said, I think Jaylen Waddle is definitely going to make an impact this year. Really like what I've seen from Iyabi Anoma at the outside linebacker position. He's got a ways to go right now, but I think he's someone that's going to see the field. Really like what I've seen from Cameron Latou. He's got big size, and those guys, they're probably going to see the field, but I don't know if they're going to make like a giant impact this year. I think, like Saban just said on his presser, some of the guys in the defensive secondary are going to have to see the field. Patrick Surtain, I think a lot of people are expecting a lot from him. Josh Jobe, Jalen Armour Davis, those guys are filling in. Eddie Smith in the backfield. How about this guy for a freshman? Christian Barmore, who's a 6'6", 300-pound freshman out of PA. We've posted highlights on YouTube of him, and he looks great. So there's a lot of guys that could certainly step up in their freshman year for Alabama. As you know, Alabama played, I want to say 16 freshmen last year, and that's why when you hear Alabama is youthful, or they have a lot of sophomores this year, I mean, that sophomore class is probably going to be one of Alabama's better classes that they've probably ever had. I know that's, tough to hear, because Alabama's always had these amazing classes, but just think who's in the sophomore class, right? Tua, Jerry Jeudy, Najee Harris, Brian Robinson. The list goes on and on. Dylan Moses. I mean, these guys are incredible for Alabama in that sophomore class. Moving along, wanted to talk about Jerry Jeudy. Now, there was some highlights posted by Alabama football, and it was Tua, and he's connecting with Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy makes a cut up the field and scores a touchdown. Now, Jerry Jeudy, I think, plain and simple, is going to be Alabama's next big-time receiver. I think we've said that many times before. Julio Jones, Amari Cooper, Calvin Ridley, Jerry Jeudy. I think he's going to be the next guy to hold that Alabama legacy at the wide receiver position. He exemplifies everything that you want in a receiver. Great routes, very high catch to drop. Yesterday, actually, during practice, was the very first time in 2 years that I've seen Jerry drop a ball. Seriously, it was odd that he dropped it. And I mean, but what I'm saying is this young man has so much ability, and I think a lot of people forget that he was the A-Day MVP during his freshman season. So you have him coming back. You have Tua potentially at the quarterback position. That could be lights out. and can't wait to see what he can do in 2018 for Alabama. Now, I wanted to talk number 10 on the 10 things that we've learned. This doesn't really go with the scrimmage, but it happened on Saturday. It was our first look at Alabama's new freshman, Ale Kao, who is a transfer from Washington. Got a chance to see him, got a chance to hear Nick Saban speak about him. Here is Nick Saban talking about Alabama's new freshman linebacker who transferred from Washington. Let me pull that clip up for you guys. Here we go. Oh, actually, we gotta call in real quick. I'm gonna take this call and then we'll talk KO. Hey, what's going on? It's Kyle Henderson. Thanks for calling. Are you there? Oh, he dropped the call. Call in real quick before I play this clip. 205-686-3604. Give you a few minutes to call in before we play this clip of Caho. And if you've been following the whole Caho deal, he told Washington he was homesick. Washington head football coach Chris Peterson released him from the program a couple days later. There's like speculation that he's going to Alabama. The young man packs his bags from Washington, stops at Reno, and then heads to Alabama now in Tuscaloosa. Yesterday was the first time that we got to see him. You're going to see some highlights in this next clip that I play with Saban talking about Caho, and the young man has feet like I haven't seen for a freshman linebacker. Now, when you see this clip, and you can watch on our YouTube channel, first look of Ale Kao, he doesn't have pads because he has to go through the process in terms of being at practice for a couple more days before he gets his pads. So don't let the lack of pads look like he's a small guy, because he's probably floating around the 220 mark. I don't know if he's going to see playing time this year. That's a hypothetical question. Nick Saban, a reporter asked him that yesterday, and Nick Saban got a little bit upset about that because he doesn't like hypothetical questions. But it's something to, how much can he develop? That's a question, I guess, for us. If he does develop, you know how Alabama is real thin at the inside linebacker position. Maybe he could make a splash this year, and maybe he could see some time as a true freshman. All right, call in after this clip, 205-686-3604. Here's Nick Saban talking about Ale Kao. Let me bring that up for you guys.
Washington, how did it come about that he came here, and what does he bring to this defense?
Well, there are circumstances, and I don't know all the circumstances, where if a guy doesn't get admitted to the school that he signed to go to, then he gets an opportunity to go someplace else, and he can get a release, or he can choose to try to get eligible over time but not be able to enroll in school. So I think, as I understand it, he was unable to get in school for academic reasons because of their institutional policies, not because of NCAA rules. And he could get in school at most other institutions. So he had opportunities to go other places. He didn't want to sit out and continue to try to take other classes so that he could go to the school that he had signed at. And we were one of the people that recruited him and came down to the wire in terms of whether we got him or not. So when he got his release, we let him know that he had an opportunity to come here, and we're glad to have him. We think he'd be a good player. Now, he has to go through all the acclimation that every other player has to go through. So he was in shorts today. He'll be in shorts the next time we practice. He'll have to go in shoulder pads for 2 practices, and then he can get in pads. And, we'll do the best we can to try to catch the guy up and see if he can make a contribution in some way to the team this year.
Regarding KO, how hard or how tough is it going to be to get him up to speed, given the fact that he's just entering the program at this stage?
I can't answer that. I don't know. I mean, hypothetical question. We're going to do the best we can every day. I don't know how hard it's going to be. It depends on how fast he learns. It depends on, it depends on a lot of things. So what kind of condition is he in? How much can we do with him? A lot of questions. And they're not bad questions. We're glad to have the guy here, and we're looking forward to the opportunity to help him be successful as a person, as a student, and as a player. But how long it's going to take, I don't know. I wish this was a magic wand that I could just, sort of. It's not the Wizard of Oz.
It's not the Wizard of Oz. Saban always providing the media with some solid clips to take back from. Call in one more time. I know I missed a couple calls during some of this segment. 205-686-3604. I'll leave the lines open for a little bit. Going to read through the comments and get with you guys. If you guys have any comments, read them off. I'm going to read them off, and I'll get back to you guys. Let's see. Matt Womack in competition with Alex Leatherwood. What's up, Jaden? Thanks for joining the show. Yeah, those two definitely battling right now for that outside tackle position. From what I heard, Alex Leatherwood has a slight up on Matt Womack. But as you know, there's no depth chart at Alabama per se. Here's our call in. Hey, what's going on? It's Kyle Henderson. What you got for us?
Yeah, man, this is Norwood in Memphis, man. I heard you talking earlier about Phil Mathis, the big redshirt freshman defensive tackle.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to know, and I think that kid's going to be good also, but what's going on with the fifth-year player, Johnny Dwight? Is he going to be able to help at all?
That's a good question. You know, I think right now Alabama is kind of circulating a lot of these guys in on the defensive line side, and I think some of these guys are going to need to step up. Dwight is probably one of them. Raekwon Davis, as I mentioned, and Isaiah Buggs have really been the guys who have
that's super.
Yeah, I mean, those are the guys who have really emerged as the guys that Alabama's going to lean on. But some of these young guys have looked really good. LeBron Ray, Phidarian Mathis, as I mentioned earlier in the show, Quinnen Williams, and then I'm not sure if you missed it or not, but Stephon Wynn, another freshman, he's been injured with a slight ligament injury, what Saban said. So in terms of Johnny Dwight, I guess we'll just have to see. What else have you thought about this defense kind of through the first 8 or 9 days of fall camp?
I think the first 11 or even 12 or 13 will be super. But after that, if they sustain any injuries, man, it's going to be it's not going to be like last year where they had so much depth on defense. But the first 12 or 13 are super.
What do you think about the defensive secondary, and what question marks do you have going in?
The only question mark, man, I have is experience. I think that the 6 that they lost or the 6 they got back are more talented than the 6 that they lost. Now,
wow.
You got Minka in there and you got Ronnie in there, so they're saying a lot. But I'm just saying, the eye test, looking at them, those kids are more talented. They're bigger, stronger, faster. If they can get up to speed, they can be really, really good. I like the first 6 with it's Diggs, Smith, Carter, and with Thompson and kid from Georgia at safety. What's his name?
Xavier McKinney, is that him?
Bingo. I think that first 5 or 6 in the secondary is just as good as last year's group, or going to be, once they get a couple of snaps under their belt.
Yeah, I think we got a little taste, as I said earlier in the show, from Deionte Thompson in that natty game against Georgia, and just that the type of ability that he has. I think he could really be a ball hawk back there. Plus, he's probably Alabama's hardest hitter in the secondary.
I would agree with that. Absolutely. That kid came on like gangbusters.
Yep.
Those last 2 games, playoff games. Mm-hmm. And I think he'll be a leader for them.
Let me ask you this before we let you go. What are your thoughts on the quarterback situation?
I tell you what, it's a good situation to have. But I'll say this also. I like Mac Jones. Mac 10, they call him.
Mac Jones.
I like him. Yes, the third-string quarterback.
A-Day MVP. No one has said a word about Mac Jones, and he has looked very polished this year. Year over year, we've seen a lot of maturity from him. He could spin it. He's got good size. He's got good delivery. No one talks about him. Watch for Mac Jones. We got another call. Thanks for calling in. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hey, what's going on? It's Kyle Henderson. Thanks for calling. Where are you from?
Hey, this is Brandon from Miami. How you doing?
What's up, man? Thanks for calling. What you got for us?
I think the defense is going to be great this year. I think what what a lot of guys are missing is that I think we're going to have a better pass rush this year. So I think that's going to help out the young secondary. But again, I am worried a little bit about the depth after Jalen and Matt, the linebackers.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I'm worried about that. But other than that, I think the defense is going to be spectacular this year.
What are your thoughts on some of these upperclassmen on the defensive line, Raekwon Davis and Isaiah Buggs? Have you been really impressed with those guys? You have a lot of confidence in those two returning?
Yes, I have the utmost confidence in them. They had a lot of playing time, and I think that's something else that a lot of us forgetting too. That these guys, even though a lot of these guys didn't start, they got a lot of reps in. So I think again, we're really just replacing Deron Payne, which is not to say that he wasn't a great player, but up front, I think we're really kind of veteran up front.
Now, talking about the inside linebackers, after Mac Wilson and Dylan Moses, it's a little bit thin. Are you concerned about that lack of depth in the middle of the field for Alabama on the defensive side?
I am, but again, I just believe that this defensive line is this pass rush is so underrated that I think they're going to be able to make up for that if we do have, let's say we go down one inside linebacker. I think they can make up for it.
Yeah, I appreciate the call, and thanks, buddy.
All right, appreciate it.
All right, call into the show right now. It's open. Lines are open. You can call in anytime. I'll leave the lines open for a little while, 205-686-3604. Now, one interesting aspect about the middle linebackers for Alabama is they've moved Chris Allen over to middle linebacker, which I think is a really interesting move. I think he's a versatile middle backer. Now, earlier during SEC Media Days, Saban had mentioned that they had actually played with the idea of moving Christian Miller to the Mike backer position, but then with Terrell Lewis went down, they're going to keep him at the outside linebacker position, and then Ale Kao, who they just added. I don't know enough right now to see if he's going to be a starter. From right now, I would say no. Not even a starter, not even a contributor. It might take him a long time to progress, and we'll just have to see more about him. But yesterday, his footwork looked great. It's going to provide help. But Alabama lost Vandarius Cohen and Keith Holcomb from the inside linebacker position. So it's then over the middle of the field. Now, I will say this. Mac Wilson has looked amazing. I think we've seen a lot of maturity from him. Saban expects a lot from him. He'll be the defensive signal caller. And Dylan Moses, my goodness, Dylan Moses, I can't even believe he's a second-year player. I got the chance to talk with him at Media Day not too long ago. Very intellectual cat, very smart, very polished, poised. Got thrown in the fire last year and did exceptional. So Dylan Moses, I think, is due for a big year. Saban also expecting Markel Benton to come around, and it'll be interesting to see what he can do in this second year at Alabama. My name is Kyle Henderson. Right now, we got a great promo going on. Get Gear 99 at BamaInsider.com. $99 gift certificate to the Rivals team store so you can get all your Bama gear. That Louisville game is not too long away, so now is a perfect time to sign up for that. See the link in the description. I'll leave the lines open for a little bit more, 205-686-3604. We got a good follow, and I appreciate all the feedback that we're getting on the show. A lot to talk about, and if you want to watch any of the show, you can rewind it, or you can just rewatch it when the show stops. Another set of Alabama training days on ESPN coming this Thursday, I believe. If you saw that first series of training days, it was pretty cool. Some inside stuff to Alabama behind the scenes. How about those guys getting woken up with the air horn? That stuff was hilarious. I was laughing so hard. It was so funny. There was some good insight, and then of course Saban taking the young cats out on the lake, and it was also interesting to see behind the scenes of all the Alabama coaches just surrounded by Saban and those guys game planning. Those guys are in the office right now, 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. just grinding, getting ready for another run at a national championship. First game against Louisville. Let me see if I can find while we're waiting real quick. Oh yeah, throwing pineapples and coconuts. That was so funny. There was that clip online. I'm gonna try to find it. It was the Louisville receiver. I'm typing this up. calls out Alabama's secondary. Did you guys see that? Let me play that for you guys real quick before we bounce out. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Give me a second. All right, I'm trying to find it on this other side. I'm trying to talk to you guys on this side. But this Louisville receiver, I mean, everybody has an opinion, right? So let's see what he said, because it was some good stuff that we can talk about to end the show. All right, I think this is it. Give me 1 second. Ben Davis. Everybody wants to talk about Ben Davis. I've seen him out there. I've seen him with the inside linebackers, seen him with the outside linebackers. All right, this is Des Fitzpatrick. Let me try to bring this up. Trying to find it. Give me 1 second, guys. Des Fitzpatrick. Yeah, he said that he believes they have more ability. 1,000% they have the talent edge over Alabama. Give me 1 second. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it. You guys can call into the show before we end, 205-686-3604. My name is Kyle Henderson of BamaInsider.com. Really enjoy being here. Really grateful, for the opportunity to contribute for Rivals.com and to be a part of Alabama. And every time I get to go to Bryant-Denny, it's really amazing, to just play a small role in the coverage of Alabama. I know there's a lot of talented people in this market. So here we go. I found the clip. All right, here we go. All right, this is Des Fitzpatrick. Here we go.
Every receiver in our receiving corps can honestly beat every one of their DBs one-on-one coverage. So it ties into the other stuff. If the blocks are right, if the quarterback's drop is right, if we ran an 8-yard route instead of a 10-yard route, that's the kind of stuff I feel like we need to see to sharpen up. But I feel like just straight talent-wise, I feel like we have an upper edge against the secondary, 1,000%.
Oh, my goodness. Shots fired a little bit, right? 1,000% over Alabama's young defensive secondary. And a lot of people aren't asking this question. I'm interested to see what Saban has to say about this. No one's talked about Carl Scott, the new defensive coordinator, the new defensive secondary coach. Sorry about that. And so not only did Alabama lose all these guys in the NFL draft, they also lost Derek Ansley, who also went to the NFL with the Raiders. So now they have a new defensive secondary coach. So I don't know, shots fired. Remember the young cat who called out Alabama last year for Vanderbilt? And that was bad, and they played it. He was like, Alabama, you're next. Remember we all played it 100 times? And then I went to that game. I went to all the games last year. Went to Nashville, which I love, and Alabama destroyed them. And I just don't know if you want to poke the bear, right? Alabama, the defending champs, coming in 4 touchdown favorites, and Des Fitzpatrick calling out this Alabama secondary. I do not know if that is a good idea. I'll leave the lines open for just a few more minutes, and then I'll close it out. I hope you guys have a great Sunday. 205-686-3604. My name is Kyle Henderson of BamaInsider.com. All our coverage on BamaInsider.com. Great promo right now. Get Gear 99. You can get a $99 gift certificate to the Rivals.com team store to purchase all your gear for the upcoming season. As I always do, as I end the show, I want to thank the United States military and the men and women who are overseas or here in our country defending our freedom. Very, proud of what you guys do for this country. I love everything about what you guys do and have great respect for the men and women doing service for this great country. My name is Kyle Henderson of BamaInsider.com. My email is kyle@BamaInsider.com. You can email me anytime if you're already a subscriber, if you have questions about your account, whatever. If you need to find something, you can always hit me up. Thanks for following our YouTube channel. Be sure and give us a thumbs up and a like and a subscribe. We got one more call. We'll take this in before we close out our show. Hey, what's up? It's Kyle Henderson. What's your name and where are you from?
This is Jacob from Florida.
What you got, Jacob?
I wanted to call into the show to just ask him a question about Tua Tagovailoa as the Heisman favorite and what his thoughts are on that.
Yeah, well, you're talking to me right now. I mean, in terms of Tua being a Heisman favorite, I think Vegas has him. I'm sure his odds are going up. I don't know the exact odds on Tua right now, but I think it was 11-1. And I like those chances. I mean, if you're a gambler, if you want to make a call out to Vegas, I mean, it might not be a bad idea with this receiving corps that Tua has this year. Now, Nick has not named the starter, but I think we all are starting to get the feel that, Tua's the man for the job and will start against Louisville. I know I've came on the show many times and I've said that Jalen will start, but this was before the media day comments by Jalen, and this was before yesterday when Jalen threw reportedly 3 interceptions and Tua threw 4 touchdowns. So in terms of Tua making a run at the Heisman, I mean, who knows? I mean, that would be quite incredible as a sophomore. A lot of expectations on that young man. But let's see what he can do in Louisville in week 1. And I think if you want to call out Vegas, hey, I mean, that's your cash if you want to throw some dice on it. You got anything else for us, Jacob?
I was just gonna go off of that. I was, just as everybody is, browsing through social media. I decided to, look up Tua, see what people are saying on Twitter, and I kind of found it surprising that people had this. Maybe not surprising, but any player, and whether it's in college football or even in the NFL, that's not a starter that only played a half. Usually, it's very rare you ever see them even in the Heisman conversation. Usually, but I was kind of surprised winning the Heisman because, I mean, he's, unbiasedly, I think, on the best team in college football. Either that or it's that. How you look at it. So if he's on the when this is just how the Heisman Trophy has panned out over, so many years, it's like you don't necessarily have to be the best player, but if you have the best story and the best storyline going throughout the season and your performance also backs it up, normally that's how the Heisman Trophy has been handed out. For example, like Derrick Henry in 2015, he won the Heisman. He wasn't, necessarily the best player in college football, but he was on the best team. And a lot of people argue that Christian McCaffrey should have been the Heisman. So, but that's just an example. That's, off topic. But I actually think that bodes well for Tua, that he could make a splash first week against Louisville if he has an amazing performance. It would kind of be like how Lamar Jackson did it in 2016. He got off to that incredible start just on the scene, and he basically won the Heisman within the first 4 weeks. But that aren't looking at the aspect of it that he could make a big splash week 1 and just take off and get a head start.
Yeah, I appreciate the call. Thank you for calling in. Interesting to talk about Tua in the Heisman race when he hasn't even started the game. Thanks for calling, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, man. Enjoy your day.
All right. Tua for Heisman. My goodness. The quarterback controversy at Alabama. I'm loving talking about it. It's hilarious. All these different aspects that are coming into play. Tua, I mean, and the thing about it is we got a chance to talk to Tua last week, and man, he's just so calm and collective and cool. And all these guys, I mean, they're on social media. They read all this stuff, but just the way that he's been able to handle himself through all this stuff has been pretty impressive. And I still have a lot of respect for Jalen Hurts as well, and he's done so much for the program at Alabama. And it'll be interesting to see what happens with those two going forward. But right now, Tua certainly has the momentum, all the momentum as we push for this quarterback battle for Alabama football. You guys want to call in, now's your chance, 205-686-3604. I'm about to hang it up and be with the family for the rest of the day. You can find me on BamaInsider.com, Talk of Champions, message boards, or on Twitter, Rivals_@Kyle. I don't really post too much on Twitter. I bring all the good stuff to you guys and to our premium subscribers on BamaInsider.com. So I guess I'll leave the show there. Good show for you guys. I hope you guys had a good time. Thumbs up, subscribe, share this channel with your friends, trying to blow it up, trying to bring something of quality to you guys regarding Alabama football. Read one more comment before I bounce out. Let's see what you guys got. Let's see. Oh, basketball. If you guys want basketball news, Kyra Lewis did sign with Alabama. You can read that on BamaInsider.com. From beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama, this is the BamaInsider.com live stream, August 12th. Hope you have a great rest your day with Sunday. Be good people out there. Be nice to each other. Enjoy your day. Enjoy every single day you got. Make it a special one. I'll talk soon. Kyle Henderson at BamaInsider.com. Thanks for calling in. You guys can also call into the show, 205-686-3604, and leave me a voicemail. Play it on the show potentially later on. So have a great rest of your day. Enjoy your Sunday. We'll be back with Monday's practice right here on BamaInsider.com.